Yep. Sure. X's. Just X's. All my X's live in the second segment of halftime. We may be drinking mom water by the end of this one. Okay, sounds good, buddy. Thank you. Yep. Had Yallop on the show this week. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to listen to it. I didn't.
Well, you can go back and there's a podcast.
No, I know, but I meant to listen to it prior to the match.
Yeah. Next week, John Collider will be on the show. I have a tearful goodbye for John.
In goal, number 28, Yannick Vogel. Number 2, Jesus Vasquez. Number 6, Cam Lindley. Number 7, Jonas Gilbert. Number 8, Jack Blake. Number 14, Aiden Quinn. Number 20, Solomon Asante. Number 22, Robbie Deborah. Number 23, Eunice Wadati. Number 25, Ryan Levigol. And the captain, number 13, Sebastian Rosati. The head coach of the 11 is Mark Lowry, and the 11 assistant coaches are Ayose and James Zamoni. The goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift, and the assistant goalkeeper coach is Bobby Edwards. The head athletic trainer for the 11 is Josh Rankham, and the team doctor is Dr. Ashley Moore.
So, yep. We can only go by what they tell us. Anthony Siaha is what we're going to go by. That's what's in the team notes, which is not what matches the league website. And judging by the fact that he's walking over now, they're going to go with Herrera in goal anyway, because Anthony is walking towards the bench. So since the backup goalkeeper actually enters a game like once a year, I think we've dodged that bullet tonight. Tonight, the boys in blue take on the team that, well, they call their colors crisp and kale. We'll explain that as the broadcast goes along. And crisp is the right word because that is kind of the way it feels in downtown Indianapolis this evening. Not exactly Chamber of Commerce weather as the Indy 11 play host to Monterey Bay FC. Alongside Brad Hodder, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV, ESPN Plus, and the Indy 11 Television Network. And yes, it is stocking cap weather for the both of us. Seemingly as cold, unfortunately, has been the Indy 11 offense as of late. Now, Brad, they have been phenomenal in terms of possession, in terms of passing. What they haven't done is score a goal since March 25th.
Right, and that's something that weighs on the minds of a lot of the fans and stuff, and it starts to creep into the training sessions and the players. But that's one of the luxuries of having a veteran team. You know, the number of matches on the players on the field, the number of times Mark Lowry has been through something like this, you just know it's going to work itself out with this level of talent and this kind of coaching. And
again, last week was more of the same, a 1-0 loss on a first-half penalty at Orange County SC. Last three matches for the Indy 11, no goals, just 1 point pulled out of a possible 9. Again, Mark Lowry would tell you he likes the way his team is playing. Brad, how do you change the result?
I like it too. Well, you take a look, the result, we're not having that conversation if you go down to Orange County and you come back with a point, which is what should have happened. A little bit of a soft PK, and then Orange County is allowed to sit in and absorb Indy 11 for the rest of the match.
And Monterey Bay, it's a first trip east for them to play in Indianapolis. Indy played at Cardinal Stadium last September. Did not go well for the boys in blue. It was a 5-0 defeat. We'll take this quick timeout when we come back. Starting lineups, opening kickoff, and keys to the match from a chilly Mike in downtown Indianapolis. Wherever you may be, we thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on ESPN Plus.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more,
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Let's get right to our starting lineups. They're brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. For the Indy 11, you will see the return of Jonas Fjellberg into the starting 11. Also of note, no Adrian Dijpay. Also no Giovanni Risi tonight for the Indy 11. So Robbie Dambrot will make the rare move inside. What does that change for him and for Mark Lowry's team?
Well, one thing it changes is he gets up and down the field so well on the wing, and now he's got to stay home a little bit more in that central interior position. So it'll be interesting to see how much he is baited into leaving that spot.
Scoring goals a problem for the Indy 11. That has not been the case for Monterey Bay this year. They have tallied 11. In fact, they had 5 in their opening match of the season. And Alex Dixon, who we have seen in the Eastern Conference, he's always been a solid goal scorer, but now in his 30s, he has never had a start like this one. Brad, he's had 6 in the first 6 matches for Monterey Bay.
He's tearing it up. When goal scorers get into this mindset and this groove and that confidence is elevated, they can score from anywhere at any time.
Oh, also, he's done that on 7 shots on goal.
That is incredible.
7 shots taken,
incredible.
All on target. 6 of them past the keeper for Dixon. Solomon Asante standing over top of this one, as we are moments away from getting underway. The 3rd of 4 league home matches on a Saturday night in this month of April. And you see Mark Lowry, and he has liked everything but the finish and the finishing from his team. He wants to see him stay the course, just find a goal early and dictate the tempo. This team has not scored again since March 25th. They have not scored in the first half of a league match this year. They're trying to change that. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV, ESPN Plus, and the Indy 11 Television Network. In a 4 straight league match against teams from the Western Conference. There'll be a total of 12 matches this year against Western teams. A 0-0 draw with Vegas, a 3-0 loss to the Oakland Roots, and then the 1-0 defeat at the hands of Orange County. It's back to the east for the next couple of weeks for the Indy 11. As Bob Little and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds will be here next Saturday night. Sebastian Guenzati, the target. Solomon Asante came off the bench in last week's game. Harrison Robledo had his first start in the 11 uniform. And Dan Brott, touch that kind of got away from him. And he is such a guy that charges forward. You can see how he's going to do things a bit differently. The player down at the edge of the 18 for Monterey Bay. We are playing on through it as we speak. Dixon had to work around him. Boone the volley. And now Greg Dopka will have to stop the action. To check and see on the injured Monterey Bay player. For the Indy 11, our injury report brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And there is immediately a check going to be required on Christian Voleski. Voleski's got a pair of goals this year for Monterey Bay. This is their 2nd year as a franchise, and had the chance to catch up with head coach Frankie Yallop a couple of days ago for Soccer Saturday that aired this morning on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. And he said the thing that they were big on from year 1 to year 2 was continuity. Voleski is one of many we'll talk about tonight, but 15 to 16 players in total that were a part of this team in season number 1.
It helps. It helps with that chemistry. It helps understanding the style that you want to play. It helps understanding the system. And I tell you, Voleski, he's a terrific player. He can be a hold-up 9. He can be a playmaker out of that position. He can be a finisher.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and get to our keys this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Brad, what are you focusing on tonight?
Yeah, if you're Indy, the possession is great, but when you do get those numbers up situations, you got to accelerate quicker into them. And then it's efficiency in the box, not just in the runs and in the touches in the box, but it's the delivery. Guenzati shouldn't have to fight for every touch in the box. You got to get it to him in places where he can do something. For Monterey Bay, it's absorb the counter, and then it's absorb and then counter, because what happens is, you know, Indy has so much possession that you start sinking pretty deep into your zone, and that opens up some pockets when you win possession to get out on the counter and then stay compact in the back. You know, the back 4 in there, when there's possession, they're allowed to camp in a little bit longer and keep the spaces that Indy has to operate limited.
Budani could not take a chance on that giveaway by Rebillon. It was Voleski who came right back in, tried to play it across. Boone was in the vicinity. Budani did not take a chance. He gives the corner here in minute number 4 to the visitors from Central California.
And this is one of the first moments in the match where you're going to start to say, Dispe, you know, this is where you're going to miss him a little bit. He's such a ball winner in there.
No Dispe, no Reese tonight for the Indy 11. Dispe has been a find for this Indy 11 squad. acquired from FC Tulsa just before the beginning of the season. He had played all 450 minutes in league action so far until tonight. Ball sent in.
Good serve.
The punch by Edel and a foul whistle by Greg Dopka against Monterey Bay.
That's tough on a windy night and in a crowded 6.
Let's talk about the wind. It's right now coming in from the west, which is into the faces of the Indy 11. Oftentimes the netminder that is facing this direction is dealing with a setting sun. Clearly not a problem tonight, but it is about a 2-club wind that is coming into his face as we speak.
Yeah, and it's important too, when you look at it, to get the right touches and warm up, to see the serves come across, a driven serve. How does it impact that? How does it impact a floated serve? And when you warm up on the opposite side of it, he doesn't have the luxury of getting the warm-up touches in to see how the ball is going to affect play.
Job by Jack Blake to draw the whistle to win possession back for the Indy 11. Speaking of Blake, Asante finds him. Good-looking cross, a little too far to hit Sebastian Guenzani. But Brian Rebillon back into the starting lineup again. He's got the last goal for the Indy 11. It came in Hamtramck back on March the 25th. And we will have an immediate corner coming up here, taken by Aiden Quinn for the boys in blue.
Hey, great serve by Jack Black here. And I'll tell you, when you look back at the Orange County game, he and Budati were fantastic on that right side.
We see Blake back in the Eastern Conference for the first time in a few years. Ball sent in. Again, Guenzani the target. 2 defenders collide, and then a foul committed by Indy. Rebillon will be the guilty party. And a restart coming from just outside of the 6 for Monterey Bay. You see Frankie Yallop on your left. Frankie has been a head coach at numerous stops in Major League Soccer. He's the general manager in Fresno, which is the same ownership group that now owns the team in Monterey Bay in their 2nd year. And he has been the head coach and sporting director since day number 1. Sounds of the Brickyard Battalion, always providing the soundtrack to Indy 11 soccer. Vasquez like to keep that in possession. With the touch a bit strong, and now giving chase will be Hugh Roberts. Plays it back to Carlos Herrera. Tonight's match presented in part by Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Incredible. It might have been a handball on there, but just incredible athleticism from Fjellberg to bring that ball down.
Jonas has been fighting through a bit of a toe injury. Came in off the bench. He had not played in a league match since the opening game of the season against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We saw him in U.S. Open Cup play here that first week of April. But his minutes have been limited. He made an immediate impact last week in Orange County. And again, I'm still curious to see the difference in Robbie Dambrot, the center back, and Robbie Dambrot, the left back, as to, because again, his instinct is just to charge forward at every instance and indication.
I'll tell you one thing, though, with he's a coach's son, and you grow up around tactics, and you grow up around discipline and understanding. So he understands the game, he knows the roles of the positions, and he also knows when you're told, hey, we're going to rein you in a little bit on going forward. He knows, okay, I got it.
Now let's point this out. He's not a coach's son in terms of soccer. He's a coach's son in terms of basketball. We've talked about his family lineage, playing at Duquesne University a couple of generations ago. Remember, the Dambrot family played for the New York Knicks. His dad is the basketball coach at Duquesne University. Bolesky.
But the thing with that coach's son, you know he was courtside at a practice or a game when a guy didn't follow what was instructed from the coach. And he saw how coaches respond to that stuff.
Guenzani couldn't get the touch.
Great touch.
Onside is Aiden Quinn. Roberts in his hip pocket. Thought he'd get the corresponding run from Lindley. He did not.
It's another great ball by Jack Blake, just over the top to Quinn.
Jesus Vasquez. Blake gives the foul as Boone was going to spin around him. Blake, the man from Nottingham, England. He's been playing in this country, though, for the last 8 years. Was with San Diego Loyal. Before that, spent time with the Real Monarchs. Played for Mark Lowry back in Jacksonville in 2017, did Blake. One of the many very highly thought of off-season acquisitions by the Indy 11. And again, there has been a distinct difference in style of play and how Mark Lowry's teams want to play. Everything has been carried out other than the results, other than the finishing inside of the 6 and inside of the 18. Kjellberg applying pressure and wins that ball back for the Indy 11.
Love it. Love it.
Kjellberg, the young man from Norway, former draft pick of FC Cincinnati a couple of years ago. He was loaned for Jesus Vasquez last summer. And now the two are teammates here with the Indy 11.
Love his pace, and one of the other things about Jonas's game is his ability to break lines. You know, you can get through and attack, either getting through defenders in combination, or you can have somebody that's able to...
Flag was up.
Or you can have a guy that's got the creativity and technical ability to break a line by himself.
Sports This Match brought to us by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone, we build a vision. Both these teams preparing for midweek matches against Major League Soccer competition. We'll talk more about that at halftime.
And that's a pressure turnover right there. And you key the guys in to say, hey, there's certain cues that we're going to do where we're going to step and we're going to press. A ball back to the goalkeeper, a ball that turns the defenders back to the field of play, and a missed touch like that. And you could just see the 4 Indy 11 players squeezing that ball, and it forced the errant touch and the turnover out of bounds.
Kai Green on your screen. He had just got in front of Jonas Fjellberg at the time and drew the foul. He's played every minute of every match so far this season. Monterey Bay has played one more than has the Indy 11. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses for Coach Yallop's squad so far. There are 2 losses against, well, the 2 combatants in last year's championship final, Blue City and San Antonio. Herrera with the distribution. Spot on, finds Chase Boone. I am hopeful that my partner can
stop it,
get through the match without saying anything in a negative fashion about Chase Boone, not because of anything he would do in tonight's match, but dating back to Chase's college days, he knocked out Brad's DePaul side in the Division III playoffs a handful of years ago. And apparently, according to Coach Hodder, played an integral part in the decision.
I think he scored the game winner. He was a guy that we, had on our scouting report, and we're careful to watch. We went up 1-0 in the match. It got tied up, and then he came in and scored a great goal. It would have been back-to-back Sweet 16s for us if it weren't for Chase Boone.
And not many guys get to play professional after playing at the Division III level. He played at Redlands in California. And there are numerous players that have California collegiate ties to this Monterey Bay squad. They've done a nice job of cultivating the local talent in this their second year as a franchise. The foul whistled as Guenzati draws the foul for the Indy 11.
Monterey Bay just sounds like a great vacation spot.
Sounds
tropical.
What, we're 13 minutes in, and I now get to bring up my trip to Monterey, California, which I apparently do to you ad nauseum from several years ago in the Indy 11's last year in the NASL, where I got to go to Monterey and see the San Francisco Deltas play in the same weekend. Fair. Lays it off right side. On the counter, which is where Monterey Bay is awfully dangerous. Ball ricochets off of Aiden Quinn. Now back for a bit more of a spell of possession from the visitors. And a throw in coming. Rebelar, the player closest to it that time for Monterey Bay. You see Boone had 8 goals in the debut season for Monterey Bay last year. Here's Robinson. And Roberts. Sport.
Trade your current vehicle and get more. Save thousands with 0.9% financing or payments from $249 a month. Drive with 2 years of complimentary Honda maintenance. To trade, save, and drive, search your local Honda dealer.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
Don't buy a pre-owned Honda unless Honda certified it. Drive with confidence knowing your engine, transmission, brakes, and more. Honda certified it. Plus, get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty covering your Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Only at your local Honda dealer.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
fair got in the way of that one. Roberts loses it. Asante sizing up his options, gives it a hit. That was Green that got a boot in the way.
And well defended. You know, the defender stays into the pocket just enough to make Asante think that he doesn't have a good window to shoot, and then pops into the lane as Guenzati's coming off of Asante's right shoulder to say, I can get that one if you go, and it put Asante in between two thoughts.
Well, those of you watching in the broadcast, as in everybody hearing my voice other than Brad Hunter, you recognize this. We lost power for about 5 minutes in our broadcast operation. That graphic is correct. While we were away, Grant Robinson scored for Monterey Bay. Beautiful feed from Alex Dixon. And so Indy is chasing the match 1-0 here in minute number 22. Again, alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. You're on My Indy TV, the Indy 11 television network, and of course our internet audience on ESPN+. Herrera, a quick touch. Good read by Lindley.
That's exactly the reason why Coach Lowry wants.
And that's a foul on Robinson.
The goalkeeper pressed every time the ball comes back. They're not that great with their feet. There are times when you can force a turnover like that. The ball pops right out to Cam Lindley, and boom, it's right at the top of the box for the 11.
So Asante absolutely was hooked by Robinson. Even if Solomon was the player that mostly generated the contact, he knew he had Robinson in a tough position. So a set-piece opportunity coming here. This portion of this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Aiden Quinn and Jack Blake being instructed by Greg Dopka as to, hey, wait for the whistle. I keep making these references back to Brad's playing coaching days. We had it with Chase Boone. How about the fact that you were our referee's coach in his days playing at Rose Holman?
How about that? And his sister's coach, too, as she played on the women's team.
Brad coached both teams simultaneously at one of the nation's most preeminent engineering schools, an hour west of here. Quinn sends it in.
That's
Asante!
it. What a serve.
Breaks the drought for the Indy 11, and for the first time all year, we get to say this. It's time to cue the smoke in Indianapolis. Indy 11 has equalized at a goal apiece.
A great serve by Aiden Quinn, and an awesome run from Solomon Asante. One of the problems that they've had, and you take a look at Orange County, the run was always behind the defender. Asante cuts into that pocket, is able to get a flick just in past Herrera.
Well, if you had to guess an Indy 11 player that was going to score on a header, it's probably not Solomon Asante, who is 5'3", maybe in terms of what he is listed on the program. But in terms of finding the back of the net, few have ever done it as well as Solomon Asante in this league. He has been more of a goal creator than a goal scorer since he signed with the Indy 11 approximately a year ago. But a much needed strike for the Indy 11. And this game is now off to the races. Fjellberg again, he simply stepped on the ball. That was not a foul. Then he digs in, gets a hard tackle. Also not a foul, but it will be a throw-in coming from Monterey Bay.
He's so clever, so crafty. You've got to get, and that was a great ball by Cam Lindley to free him up into space. Those are the times when you can isolate Fjellberg in a 1v1 and look to have him just take advantage of that moment.
Moray Donor holding, waiting for Fjellberg to be given the all clear to continue on. Well, there have been so many corners, there have been so many set pieces, and really one set piece goal that came against Detroit City back on March 25th. Simply the law of averages was going to catch up at some point in time. But let's also credit the service of Aiden Quinn. It was absolutely exquisite. It's the third goal of league play for the Indy 11. Let's see if that kind of breaks the dam for the boys in blue. Monterey Bay looking to act quickly. Edel looking back post. Boone to get ahead to it was impressive.
Wow.
Even if that's just trying to send it back across to a teammate.
Nah, he is fantastic in the air. In our 2016 scouting report, it's like, one, you cannot give them anything, any kind of restart, any kind of throw in and around the box that they can just put up in the air because the kid will go up and get it.
Considering the chill of the night, this is a fantastic crowd on hand.
Love seeing it.
Here at Carroll Stadium.
Indy coming out and supporting. Love it.
Now, the good news is that, frankly, the weather forecast had rain in it until yesterday.
It was 80% rain about 3 days ago.
Thankfully, it's 0% tonight. Yoseki draws the foul. Looking back post. Boone couldn't make an effort at that one. Robinson hustling back to give Asante fits. Takes it away. Looking back post. Edel couldn't get to it. But the attack continues for Monterey Bay.
Yeah, Asante thought that he'd be able to shield that ball out of bounds, and Robinson just dug in, put it in 5th gear.
That's Rebion that draws the whistle. Now the restart coming outside of the 18 for the visitors. Of course, this match is brought to us by Keystone Construction. Keystone, it's more than construction. We build a vision.
I hate saying it, but don't fall asleep on Chase Boone on the back post.
Asante being given the instructions as to what he can and cannot do as the one-man wall. You saw Frankie Yallop on your screen a moment ago. He was our guest on Soccer Saturday this weekend on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan, as was Mark Lowry. Restoring a part of that too. Into the mixer, and ball headed down to Yannick Edel. That ball directly at him. And as advertised, Boone was the target. It's kind of into some dangerous waters that Edel just rolled that ball back into at the edge of the 18. So mind if you missed this week's Soccer Saturday, you can log on to 1075thefan.com or anchor.fm/Indy-11 to go back and listen to the show anytime. Vasquez got a boot to it. Didn't really clear it, but a real threat came out of the equation for Monterey Bay. Lindley finds the escape route to Budati, just could not keep it at his feet. Good Eunice, the young man that represents Morocco by way of Belgium. One of the many first-year members of the Indy 11. Budati has been an every match stalwart so far for head coach Mark Lowry. Well, we thought there'd be multiple goals in this one, and we're off to that kind of start at 1-1, 29 minutes in.
Yeah, first match this season, too, where Indy has been chasing possession.
It's a compliment to Monterey Bay. They missed the playoffs in their first year last year. But if there was a signature moment for their franchise, it was winning against Lou City during that inaugural season. Looking ball forward here. And 3 threats to choose from. Dambrot got in the way. Blake did not want to make a misstep. Fair's effort blocked by Aiden Quinn. That's a touch, yep. That touched the referee. You got to restart. Did Dopka have that kind of feet when he was playing for you at Rose Hall as well?
He was a terrific player.
So in case you wonder, the skill set required to be a referee, the athleticism, the soccer IQ, this is a guy that played a high level of Division III soccer that now is officiating matches in the second highest professional league in North America.
And at 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old was tactically brilliant, so really understood the game.
Flag stays down. Ball sent through. Boone and Dixon were making a beeline to that one before the Indy 11 was just able to clear some space. But as my partner pointed out, this has not been the possession-dominated game in favor of the Indy 11 that, frankly, we have seen really for most of the season, other than, say, the Tampa Bay game. Again, the attack lines up, didn't get through. That was Dambrot that got something in the way of that. There is not a moment of respite yet for the Indy 11. Again, it's Dambrot's head that clears Revelar's attempt outside of the 18.
And the tough part when you're defending such sustained quick possession like Indy's doing right now, when you do get the ball, there's nobody up front to play it to. So you just saw Fjellberg just knock it forward to give him some breathing room.
But a giveaway in the midfield. Now it gives Indy a chance to kind of reset, reorganize. And then some of the pieces interacting differently. Not having Dispay back there. Reese has spelled Dispay when given a need, and Dambrot used to playing that ball from a little further wide than he would normally in that center back's role. Mishak Jerome is available if necessary. It's kind of the other backup in a center back position, but we have seen Mishak much more on a limited basis this year. Came in to close the game out in Detroit back on March 25th and played in the Open Cup match about 10 days later. And he has not really factored in terms of league play just yet.
Well, you look at the way that Dispay has just grabbed that center back spot. And, you know, Vasquez coming in, having done a great job last season and continuing that consistent play this year. You look like you've got your two center backs settled.
Wenzati and Roberts, they've had some battles over the years. Rick Dopka says not enough in that one. Play on. Fjellberg. Quinn. And Green able to steer that one away. Distribution wasn't spot on. Here's a chance for the Indy 11. Quinn sizes up his options. Again, Wenzati goes to ground. Not enough in that. They're kind of happy about it, but I would agree with that lack of a whistle. Asante, perfection, Boudadi, and that did not hit Boudadi on the way back. So a corner coming for the Indy 11. Their second of the match here in minute number 34.
Boy, Solo's got everything going right now, not just the finishing, but what a touch to put this ball into space for Boudadi.
And Fjellberg goes to his backside, and again, Jonas has been fighting a foot injury. It's been Martinez that has been playing kind of in that forward spot with Fjellberg coming off the bench for a good chunk of the league season. And you hope that Jonas will be able to continue on. Martinez made his Indy 11 debut against Tampa Bay and basically has not come out of the lineup since that time. It's Quinn from the opposite corner. It is Cam Lindley that will serve it in from this one. Graduate of Garin Catholic High School, his second stint with the Indy 11. And the young man that was second team all-league for the Switchbacks in Colorado Springs a season ago. Cam and his teammates will make a return visit to Colorado Springs coming up a little bit later this year. Tonight's match presented by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Well, we have a pause. I want to make sure I say a special thank you to John Kaluder. John is going to be stepping away from his role as the communications director for the Indy 11. Much like Cam Lindley, this has been his second stint with the club, but John is one of the OGs of the Indy 11. Was here from day one in 2014. Stepped away for a little while, came back a couple of years after that. John's tenure with the club is going to end at the end of next week. I will not be on next week's broadcast. I want to make sure I said this tonight. John, thank you for your friendship. That, of course, will not go away. But John is one of the many people behind the scenes that have been so involved with the day-to-day operations of the Indy 11. Maybe you've seen him doing some interviews over the years, but he has coordinated so many things John will certainly be missed around the Indy 11 offices and here on game day.
Yeah, a brilliant writer, and like you say, he's been, a foundational piece of Indy 11 from day one, and then took a little stint elsewhere and came back. But with his writing ability and the historical knowledge he has of the club, there's got to be some kind of a book or something in there.
Well, Fjellberg is going to be subbed out. They're getting Douglas Martinez ready to go. And again, you have concerns about this for tonight's match. But again, now you're thinking about, all right, there's already a couple of players that are not playing tonight due to injuries. You got that Open Cup showcase match against the Columbus Crew on Wednesday. So we're worried about a numbers count for the Indy 11 going forward. But here is Martinez. He'll be on for the rest of the way. And our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana.
Yeah, when you look at players, there's certain skill sets that each have. Sometimes it's pace. Martinez brings great pace to the game. Guinzotti, great finisher. Asante got a little bit of everything. One of the things that Fjellberg brings, and I think Robledo has the same thing, is a little bit of a wild card in them. They can make something happen out of nothing, and when defenders think they're doing X, they do Y. So they're disruptors in the way that they play.
Indy 11 already. A couple of players down in terms of they didn't dress a full 18 tonight. Wanted to make an injury-related sub early in the match. Sent in, and it's Martinez, and that's a tough ask. Literally his first touch of the match is airborne just outside of the 6. He might want to have that back. Other way of looking at that for Mark Lowry's team is that's the second set piece from that side of the field where the service has been absolutely spot on.
Right, how about that? Your first touch is a goal. That'd be pretty impressive.
Martinez has been the starting lineup each of the last 4 matches for the Indy 11. There's a fresh set of legs for Indy. Boone. Budati did just enough to get in the way of that. Guinzotti wins it back.
Oh.
Right idea. Didn't miss Asante by much. Good Jack Blake's offering. Welcome our friends at the Morales Group back to our sponsorship broadcast. Thanks to Seth and everyone at the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. The Morales Group, we build futures. Here's Vasquez. Good looking ball for Martinez. Just couldn't pull it down from his chest. And now it's 2v2. Opportunity here. Valesky inside of the 18 making the darting run. Ball played off of Robbie Dambrot. Corner coming from Monterey Bay. And then at number 39.
That is a tough ball to handle, that one that's just rifled at your chest, but you got to bring it down in some capacity and not have it be a turnover that winds up having you recover in transition.
As we show you the replay, the restart, a quick one. Novello Yoseki elects to go airborne with him about 30 yards out. Sports this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today.
Good turn.
Excellent touch by Martinez. Now Budati makes the supporting run. Diagonal ball. Lines up Guinzotti. Gets it home. It's 2 in the first half. Better stock up on more smoke. Indy has a 2-1 lead in minute number 40.
What a ball. What a ball to play that into space for Guinzotti. And finishers do what finishers do. He knew he just needed one touch. He needed to bait Herrera into a certain space and then just curves it into the far post.
I have a smile on my face for many reasons, but our broadcast position is just behind the Indy 11 bench. And everybody in the park is celebrating, with the exception of one person, Mark Lowry. He's like, this has been coming. I know this has been coming. He has been so happy with how his team has played, despite what it said on the scoreboard. It's his way of saying, I told you so. The Indy 11 have a 2-1 lead as we approach the final 5 minutes of half number 1.
That's what's so important. When you have a plan, work the plan. Recognize that there's going to be some hiccups in there, and don't start jumping off the plan. And that's where you get frustrated with players, is like, hey, it's a process, and you got to work the process.
Work the plan. Ed Harris, Apollo 13. Is that where you pulled that from?
Possibly.
You think this is our finest hour? I like that.
Okay, we got duct tape. We got what else? We got to build something to get.
We only
this
got 20 amps
home.
to get there. We'll figure this out. Revelar couldn't keep it on his feet. Looking for Boone. Well, I go back to something that Frank Yallop said in our Soccer Saturday interview, because I'm not a big fan of 1-0. I'd much rather go play an entertaining style and make it 5-3. You get the feeling 5-3 just might happen tonight between these two teams.
You look at the pace that they play on, and it's right on the edge of reckless. You see what they're trying to do, so there's a rhythm to it, but man, they move the ball quickly.
And frankly, I think this is the type of team that the Indy 11 wants to play. And again, this is a talented Monterey Bay squad, but if there is a team that is willing to kind of take the fight to the Indy 11, then it's game on for Mark Lowry's team. Guenzati gives it a blast, doesn't get through. But the opportunity's coming fast and furious now for the Indy 11. Lindley, Revelar right behind him. Quinn. Good job by Dambrot. Your assessment of what he's done with kind of the positional shift, necessity being the mother of invention, the job he has done moving inside tonight.
He's done what was asked of him, and that's all you need from your players. This is the role I need you to be tonight. Please do it, and he's nailed it.
I just want to welcome back our friends at Sherwin-Williams, sponsoring Indy 11 Soccer once again in 2023. So in the last 15 minutes, Indy has equaled their goal output from the first 5 USL Championship matches.
Stop with your statistics.
First 2 first-half goals of the season for the Indy 11. And that stat holds true even including the Open Cup match, where Indy scored once in the second half. A goal by Harrison Robledo. And then 2 in the extra 30 minutes. Budati, all the way from his right back spot. Hugh Roberts, wearing the captain's armband, has to drift over and play that one sideways.
You can see that the way that the plane right there, Budati gets all the way forward, and so with that, Vasquez pops out a little bit to the side, and Cam Lindley sits down in the middle of the center backs just to be able to control and be that quarterback for this team.
Speaking of Vasquez, he is the Indy 11 player closest to this ball, so he will hit the reset button. And unless I missed it last week against Orange County, Jesus has gone now first name treatment on the back of his jersey instead of Vasquez. So for those of you that need to buy new merch, right, Brad? Shop.indy11.com and get you a Jesus Vasquez jersey, if possible. Asante out wide. Budati charging forward. Good job by Monterey Bay. Asante, that was the right idea.
It was a great read by Robinson. Asante just opened his hips a little bit too soon, and that was the cue that Robinson bid on.
The fans that have braved the chilly temperatures tonight in the 40s, they have been rewarded with end-to-end action between these two squads. Because of the goals, because of the Fjeldberg injury, I think we're looking at 3 or 4 minutes of additional time before we get to our halftime intermission.
What a ball. My goodness.
Heck of a find from 60 yards away, was it not? And the passing accuracy, the possession of this team has not been in question this first 6 weeks of the season.
Great turn.
Tonight the finishing has been there. Is there one more before halftime for the Indy 11? Roberts does just enough. Revelar under pressure from Lindley. Good distribution here. And now here comes Monterey Bay the opposite direction.
Yeah, that first pass out of pressure is so critical. Indy spent so much energy and so many bodies to try and trap it back in here and earn a repossession that once Monterey Bay gets that first pass out, then they have all of this space to counter.
Boone. Budati able to sweep it away from him. Blake digs in, but it's going to be deemed that Blake commits the foul, and he's going to be shown a yellow card. While that is going on, we can confirm from the fourth official 4 added minutes before we get to halftime. Our first yellow of the match goes against Jack Blake, and I would tend to agree with Jack on that, both in terms of the ferocity of the tackle, and frankly, I think he got there first. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a foul. However, as far as the card going, there were a few warnings that he had given him through the mat. So anything that's kind of on the edge might fall on the wrong side.
Jack is not exactly a player that will be deterred by a yellow card. He has 3 of them on the season. That is the most of any Indy 11 player. In fact, coming into the match, Indy's opponents had picked up literally on a 2-to-1 ratio more yellows than had the Indy 11 this season. Robinson's pass just a bit errant as it trickles past the touch line. Fans, let's thank our friends at Hyatt Place and Hyatt House in downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. If they've got pillows big enough for Zeke's head or mine, you're going to be just fine when you get a room at Hyatt House and Hyatt Place.
And they must be pet friendly if Zeke's there.
Clearly. Wenzati is fouled. Wenzati and Asante. It's about 100 goals.
Ridiculous.
In the history of the USL Championship. Ridiculous. Right there. Sebastian now in his 11th season of playing professionally for 3 teams here in the States: New York Cosmos, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and now the Indy 11. Onside. No, just off. Martinez deemed to be offside, and not for a moment that he was on that one, given the timing of that run.
Right. They're looking for that ball over the top when Monterey Bay's got the high back line, and they're finding it.
A question about the on or offside nature this time. Quinn with the touch on it that he wanted. Still plenty of time for an attack in either direction before we get to halftime. This reminder, fans, to watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. Of course, in Indianapolis, we are seen on My Indy TV, and the 10 o'clock Wish TV News comes on 30 minutes following the conclusion of our post-game show. And let's thank our affiliates in South Bend, WHME, Channel 46, and WLMO, Channel 2 in Fort Wayne. Joining us on this Saturday night, and alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. It's Indy 11 Soccer, Indy looking for their first home victory in league play this season. They've already scored their first goals since March 25th. First match in league play as Blake is fouled with double-digit tallies for the boys in blue. Kai Green, the guilty party this time around. And frankly, if you're Indy, you've got 30 seconds left in the half. You get to everybody but Edel forward here on this opportunity. Quinn. Look at the edge of the 6. Rebion got ahead to it. Just couldn't keep it on frame, but there's been enough restarts now where Indy can kind of get into pages 2 and 3 of the playbook. And they've all led to really good looks so far. Monterey Bay got the first goal of the match, courtesy of Grant Robinson. And after that, it was Solomon Asante, followed by Sebastian Wenzati. The Indy 11 all smiles heading to the locker room at halftime. Brad, quick thoughts heading into the break.
Yeah, I tell you, I like that little build-up there on the restart. Is instead of just serving it into the box, play it down the line, see if you can move a couple pieces, and then drive it in. And you saw Rebion got the other end of it.
For Gwenzati, he had a goal in Open Cup play, but in terms of USL Championship competition, it's his first for any other team than the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Right now, that is the difference to give Indy their first home win of the season. But that is just 45 minutes in, still 45 to go. Indy scored twice, they lead by 1 on My Indy TV, ESPN Plus, and the Indy 11 television network.
ver con el 1, 2, 3. Que tú vas a ver con el 1, 2, 3. Tienes que ver actitud. 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 Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo. Cuando tú lo escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
Back at Carroll Stadium on this gray and chilly Saturday evening. We're at halftime between the Indy 11 and Monterey Bay, and these two teams share the pitch tonight. They share a good problem to have. That's an upcoming busy week that they have earned by winning earlier rounds of the U.S. Open Cup. Let's start with the home side. The Indy 11 will play an MLS team for the first time in 7 years as they've advanced on to take on the Columbus Crew. It's their debut performance at the gorgeous lower.com field in downtown Columbus. 7:30 is the kickoff. Now for Monterey Bay, it is a very quick turnaround. They fly back tomorrow. They play Tuesday night. The good news is they welcome San Jose down the coast just a little bit. Again, those two sides clash in Monterey coming up on Tuesday evening. On Wednesday, the Triangle of Hate is renewed as Lou City takes on FC Cincinnati. And of note, Sacramento Republic, they made it all the way to the championship match last year. They get to face a fellow USL Championship side in the Oakland Roots. Again, that is Wednesday night. In total, there are 24 matches on Tuesday or Wednesday. USsoccer.com will always have more. Now, here is a look at the upcoming schedule around the USL Championship. Games that have yet to kick off this evening: San Antonio and Phoenix, Orange County that we saw last week playing host to Birmingham Legion. Next time up for the Indy 11, they are back here next Saturday when they take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So a streak of 4 consecutive weeks against Western Conference foes come to an end. And a reminder, the USL is on ESPN2 when we get to Saturday, May 13th. Paco Craig goes back to his former home in Lou City to take on Josh Winder, who was part of the U.S. men's national team on Wednesday when they took on Mexico. You can catch that Saturday, May 13th on ESPN2. Again, USL action on ESPN2. Stay tuned. More Halftime Show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV, ESPN Plus, and the Indy 11 Television Network.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if If your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The Indy 11 have a halftime lead. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter will try to catch up with Mark Lowry at the tail end of the halftime show. We'll have highlights coming up for you in a matter of moments as well. When we continue our look around the USL Championship, we start with news and notes around the league. And you know, Orange County was the opponent for the Indy 11 last week. I had a chance to talk to their president, Dan Rutstein, last week for Soccer Saturday. Last year was Kobe Henry with a $700,000 transfer fee. Clearly, OC has figured out, hey, developing youth might be the way to go. Bryce Jamison getting a call to the U17 team.
Yeah, it's interesting how that can work for you. You know, you go with veteran players, you go with younger players, you develop and look to move them on. You know, it's one of the things that the Danish Super League does a lot of. They get young players, and the way that they keep the clubs alive is then they wind up selling them into the Premier League, selling them into Italy, selling them into Spain.
Congratulations, Jelani Vargas. He is the recipient of the scholarship from Bellevue, the United Black Players of the USL. And as expected, Ben Pierman's doing great things in Charleston. We'll show you their place in the table in a matter of moments, but they are the lone unbeaten team remaining in the East, and they've won their last 4 matches. And,
you know, no disrespect to last year. They got into a bit of a funk, and they were a bit of the doormat. You know, you almost expected, hey, we're going to come out of here with a point. He has single-handedly turned that around.
So 4 Charleston Battery players are on the team of the week, led by Augustine Williams, and despite the fact that they struggled last year, he found the back of the net on a regular rhythm then for head coach Connor Casey.
Right, and now you got confidence, and you filled in a couple of players around him. The sky's the limit for him.
By the way, look at Loudon United getting 3 players on that team of the week as well. They're coming up in a couple of weeks for the Indy 11. Now, in terms of scores around the USL Championship, we'll get there in a matter of moments. First, here is the table. Again, Charleston 1, Lou City 2. Indy in a playoff position despite their struggles the last couple of weeks. And currently, these other games are just getting ready to kick off. So scoreless in those other 3 games currently going on in the USL Championship. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, first half highlight stats and hopefully a word with Indy 11 head coach Mark Lowry. Indy leads Monterey Bay 2-1 as you're watching on the Indy 11 television network.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. We're about 90 seconds away from the start of half number 2, and we are already now joined by the head coach of the Indy 11, Mark Lowry. Mark, you have been steadfast in saying, hey, I like what I'm seeing from my team. The goals will happen. Well, they have. 2 in the first half. Your thoughts on what your team did in the opening 45 minutes?
I didn't like the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes were too tentative, too nervous, not aggressive enough. The conditions are difficult with the wind and the surface. So we weren't aggressive in the first 5. I think their goal kind of woke us up. And then from there, we controlled the game and dominated. Now we need more of that in the second half.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you. Always appreciate our time with Mark Lowry. We'll talk to him at the conclusion of tonight's match, the post-game show, and hopefully a couple of goal scores. Maybe there are more to choose from in half number 2. Brad, what do you see from this team here in the opening, say, 15 minutes of half number 2?
You like that rhythm you were in that last 25, 30. If they come out with that energy, you're going to see this game start to tilt in their favor.
Solomon Asante ready to roll, already with 1 goal in tonight's matchup. Played a key part in goal number 2 as well. Indy already had to make 1 injury substitution with Martinez coming in, replacing Jonas Fjellberg. No injury replacements or substitutions at halftime for Monterey Bay. Dambrot looking for Martinez. Donor able to keep that ball away from him. Good run by Rebion to keep the attack alive. Just couldn't find Guenzati. And Rebion, the Swiss Army knife for this Indy 11 squad. Playing for Mark Lowry in a 3rd different stop. Play midfield. He can play either back position. Meshach, Jerome, the guys that have been, well, simply have spent the most amount of miles in a Mark Lowry system in his various stops along the way.
Great touch.
Martinez, sliding tackle away by Roberts.
It's that quick interplay. You've got Martinez, Rebion, Quinn, all just 1 and 2 touches, knowing where that next one is coming.
Off the boot of Guenzati. And you'll hear us, especially early in the season, reference like, hey, this guy's played every minute so far. It's one thing for a goalkeeper or a defender to do that. The guy that you just saw on your screen, Sebastian Guenzati, playing up top, he's played every league minute so far, 6 games in.
And I think he went the distance in the overtime game in the Open Cup. And the pace doesn't stop.
Work rate is the phrase that is used so often with him. Part of the reason why he is the team captain. This is his first year in Indy.
And you really love that when you bring in a high-profile goal scorer, that he has that kind of work rate and that kind of energy and that kind of leadership. Because it's very easy sometimes for guys who have had great success in the league, take their foot off the gas a little bit, come in, run when they want to. He's on the go all the time.
Let's remind you, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it with Google Play. Giving you the Indy 11 perspective. If you're Frankie Yallop, waiting to see from your guys here to start half number 2.
Well, you remember that front foot that they were on when they scored the goal, and then there was about a 10-minute block where Indy could not grab possession. We were even talking about this, the first time that Indy's going to be out-possessed in a game. And there were so many moments where you had 9, 10 players in the 18 that whenever we won the ball, we couldn't get out. So he's going to want to see that same kind of energy and possession up in his attacking third that forces Indy to have to defend for long stretches.
Give away by Indy at the back. Sets up the opportunity. Dixon on the cross. Overcooked that a little bit, and perhaps the wind may have taken that one. Think about that wind kind of being out of the west. It may have pushed that ball a little further south than Dixon had hoped for. Let's face it, we talked about the fact that he's had 6 on the season. We've really talked about him kind of in one play so far for Indy. That's good for the home team. Edel will take this restart. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Edel with that jet stream behind him. Knocks out about 65 yards down the field. Rebion. There is Dixon showing up. But again, that touch just too strong. Dixon has been a factor in this league for a long time.
Great career.
33 years of age. Scored 13 over the last 2 seasons for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh. That's off the boot of Chase Boone. Alex, in fact, played in Jacksonville in 2016. When Mark was Mark Lowry was the assistant coach to Tony Meola, and then became the head coach at the tail end of the season. Yoseki. Valesky. Monterey Bay breaks through that first wave of Indy 11 pressure and is off the boot of Lindley. Throw in coming. The team from Monterey, California.
Good little build-up.
Guenzati could not track down Yoseki on that ball. Here's Donor. Spent time playing in the Canadian Premier League. His opportunity here in the USL Championship. That's Donor again, and he was in an offside position.
Yeah, he knew it too. He checked his shoulder just to see if he could read the linesman to say, do I need to continue this run? And he didn't blink. So he kept it up, and as soon as he made his way onto the other end of the ball, the flag rises.
Of course, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Proud to be Honda's home turf, too. So it's your local Honda dealer today.
It's a good decision. That little buildup started to get into some crisis, and rather than try and fight your way out of it, sometimes it's best just to knock it up the field.
Giveaway here, Martinez. Blake trying to work around Roberts. Couldn't do it.
It looked like there might have been a quick one touch into the space of Guenzati. I just don't know if he was able to see him.
Gambrot just does just enough to slow down the attack. Martinez checks back. Martinez in for Fjellberg right before the end of the first half due to a foot injury. It's limited numbers available off the bench for the Indy 11 this evening. Here's Boone. Boone trying to play it across. And well done by Gambrot.
As brilliantly done by Gambrot, because when you take a look at it, Velasco was in the middle of the box all alone. If that serve gets across, he's walking in on Yannick.
Even though Robbie is always listed as a defender, we are talking more about his defending tonight than we normally do. He's normally in that left back role. It's all about the attack from that position. This Mark Lowry diamond system. Quinn. Did he wait this one perfectly? Budati got there in time. And Robinson. And a little bit of Budati and enough of the ball. It'll be a throw-in coming for the Indy 11 next to the corner flag. Budati's going to take a moment here. Robinson got a combination of kind of man and ball there. Restart coming for the Indy 11. Ball played across, and there was not a touch there. Tonight's game presented in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Herrera taking his time before hitting the reset button on this one. And you can see the impact that the wind has on those clearances going from left to right. That is heading towards the west. This alignment on the campus of IUPUI. All the way back to Edel. Valesky made that moment as nervous as Edel ever has, and he rarely is nervous with the ball at his feet.
He was in quick. He just recognized, he knew where the ball was going to go, and he was just waiting until it was played, and then he looked to jump it.
Valesky on your screen. We would have last seen him in the Eastern Conference. Played for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh 4 years ago. Like many of the players on the pitch tonight for Coach Yallop's squad, back for a second season with Monterey Bay. Asante trying to give Roberts some fits. Lindley steps in the way. Pressure continues to be effective for the Indy 11. Asante.
Good recovery.
Knocked away by Robinson. The goal scorer for Monterey Bay has been every bit as effective defensively tonight.
You know who he reminds me of from a few years ago? Segbers. Was it with Memphis?
Correct.
When he was playing with Memphis?
With Miami last year.
It was just how he got up and down the field that season.
This is Robinson's just third match of the year. Robinson played his college soccer at George Mason. All the way to the back to Yannick Edel.
Look at that find. Look at the confidence. into a pocket with 3 Monterey Bay players around him.
And that's the reason why Yannick is here. He was in Hartford last year, along with Yunus Boudadi. But specifically, he was the goalkeeper that Mark Lowry thought best fit this system. Boone. Here's Robinson yet again. That's Vasquez that got a boot in the way for the Indy 11. And now, here to launch numbers forward. Asante just simply trying to find an angle to attack. Now Rebion with acres of space. Turn by Bryant. Martinez trying to carve out space, couldn't maintain possession. Now Donor, 3v3. Blake checking back, trying to catch him. Donor. Valesky. And Valesky ties us at 2. A fantastic feed. The finish by Valesky, his 3rd goal of the season. We're all level in the 58th minute.
Great finish from Valesky, but my goodness, was that brilliantly set up by Donor.
Pulled Vasquez to him. Dambrot couldn't get there in time, and little that Yannick Edel could do. So we are level at 2 goals apiece. See why Donor has played in every minute so far this year for Monterey Bay. He played in all 34 matches last year.
And you see the run by Valesky and how brilliant it was. He waits until Vasquez has to step to Donor, and then he realizes he's got Dambrot on his hip, so he just tucks into that space behind. Donor slides that ball into space. It's a one-touch ball.
So Valesky now has sole possession of 2nd on the Monterey Bay scoring list for the season. And trailing Alex Dixon with 6 goals. Well, not sure this is the back and forth that Mark Lowry had envisioned. I can tell this is kind of what Frankie Yallop thought this game was going to turn into, and that'll be a foul on Rebion. Dixon, the player that was fouled. We've seen 1 yell in the match. That has gone to Jack Blake. Not sure if a 2nd is coming from Greg Dobkin. But at least a conversation will be had with the veteran left back for the Indy 11 this evening. Where do you go to school on that last goal if you're the Indy 11?
Well, you'd hope, I can't remember what trailing defender for Indy was just behind Donor. You would love for that pressure to be a little bit more ferocious. That allows Vasquez to stay home.
That's where I also tell you that Blake's playing on a yellow card. That might have been the reason why he didn't make a move, or as convincing of a move to stop that attack. We'll be fair. We'll track this ball down with Asante giving chase. Another tough spot here for Indy. Yoseki. It's off of Dambrot. Corner coming. Take momentum clearly in favor right now of the visitors.
Yeah, and you'll take that corner kick because there were 4 Monterey Bay players inside the 18. There were a lot of targets to choose from.
So momentum has swung back and forth in this match. We'll be fair to send it in. That goes over the byline. Corner coming for the Indy 11. Of course, this match is brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
It's crazy what a goal score does to your offense. Here, Monterey Bay just equalizes, and now it's rejuvenated their defense. These two bleed into one another. It's just that little spark, that little confidence. Now they're pressing a little bit higher up the field. They're pressing with more energy.
Quinn. Rebillon emptying the tank to track that down. The sliding tackle. Goal kick. Thought he'd earned the corner. Now it'll be a goal kick coming for Herrera in Monterey Bay.
It's a great ball by Quinn.
Been saying that for about 10 years in this league. He played in the East before Indy was in the league, and when Indy came into the USL in 2018, then Aiden spent most of his time playing out west. First with Orange County and then Phoenix Rising. Wanted to come back to the Midwest where he played his college soccer at a couple of different stops, even though he is a California native. Vasquez got airborne for that, couldn't track it down. Of course, the match is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. There will be a substitution here in a few minutes for the Indy 11. Iose has been dispatched to the next player about to enter the fray for the Indy 11. Another errant pass to the midfield. Leaves an opportunity here. Valesky plays it across the poke, and there it is. Goal for Monterey Bay. That's 3. They've got the lead.
What a ball from Alex Dixon.
Novello Yaseki gets the goal. So 2 in the span of 5 minutes for the visitors.
Look at that. He just collects a repossession and immediately puts Indy under pressure.
Dixon has been such a finisher this year. Tonight it's about the chances he has created for others.
He's just, you know, and that's one of the things. When you've got 6 goals on 7 shots, you know you're going to be the target of pressure. So he's floating around in there, and as soon as he gets the ball, he draws players to him, and he's already got the out figured out before he gets his touch.
Martinez trying to find Guinzotti. We saw some of the matches of a 4-3 variety last year for the Indy 11. It will have to be that way if they are going to get a victory tonight. Blake, great find. Green got in the way. And Robinson will sweep it clear. Martinez couldn't latch onto that one. Quinn takes a tumble, and here comes Dixon charging forward. Valesky. Dambrot, the sliding efforts. By the way, it's going to be both Meshach Jerome, it appears, and Harrison Robledo will be coming on here for the Indy 11. I'm curious if that maybe means that Dambrot will stay in but slide back to his normal left back position. Robledo, as per usual, would come in for one of those triumvirate in the midfield. Quinn, Blake, or Lindley. Robledo has made his way to the 4th official. Jerome about to do the same. Green just plays it sideways. And there is a sub that'll be entering momentarily for Monterey Bay as well. So activity picking up around the 4th official as we speak. And Rebillon said, hey, you can actually go about 20 yards forward to restart this.
How many years have we seen Alex Dixon play? It's been 10?
Basically 7 of the last 8. Here's Martinez inside of the 18. Martinez! And that ball somehow took a turn off of Robinson. Yeah. And that will be a corner coming for the Indy 11.
Boy, I tell you, with the way he was held too, I think if Martinez goes down, I think he might get the call.
Take a second look here. Blake, the perfect touch. Martinez was trying to find Guinzotti. Set pieces have led to good looks for the Indy 11 tonight. Quinn steers it in, and that one was too close to the keeper. That one directed right at Herrera.
So going back to Dixon, 10 years. We've probably seen him play
More
for 10
or less,
years.
yep.
Does he not look faster
Absolutely.
now?
And that's what I made that note, that he's having a breakout season at 33. That doesn't normally happen. Jason Johnson, by the way, will be the sub that will come on here for Monterey Bay. That has been his role. He's the veteran for Monterey Bay. Quinn going to be called for the foul. Johnson has played in all 6 matches off the bench. He's averaging about 10 or 15 minutes a match. He'll go longer tonight with 20+ minutes left to go in this one. It was Budati that will come off. Rebion will bounce to the right back position. Dambrot will head to the left back position. Jerome will come into his standard center back position for the Indy 11. All these substitutions brought to us by, particularly with Indiana. Jack Blake, again sitting on a yellow card, will come out. Harrison Robledo will come in to replace him. And this is as much about wanting to get Robledo some time because of the things that he has created, more so than anything that Blake has done wrong. And Voleski, who was the second goal scorer for Monterey Bay, will come on, or come off rather, and Jason Johnson. He will turn 33 at the end of the season. We have seen him at a variety of stops. Brief time at FC Tulsa and Lou City amongst those. He has played a variety of locations. As the native of Jamaica, played his collegiate soccer at VCU. All of our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube. As the wind gust, I'm trying hard to remember that it was 80 degrees a couple of days ago here in Indianapolis.
It was hailing this afternoon.
Here's Dambrot. Forward, Martinez going to get there in time. Green will have to play it towards the Indy 11 Premium Suites. They're the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Here's Robledo. Robledo scored in the Open Cup for the Indy 11. Young man on loan from FC Cincinnati. Taken away. Rebion. To Johnson.
It's too easy.
The pressure back by Asante, and corner. Touch last by Solomon. Much to the dismay of one Solomon Asante.
You know, here we are in the 70th minute, and Robbie Dambrot's got to feel like this game has just started because he's not been up and down the field 30 times.
And now Monterey will take their time, nursing a 1-goal lead with 20 minutes and change left to play in tonight's match. Moby Fair heads his way to the corner flag. Born in New York City, grew up in Japan. Father is Swiss, mother is Japanese. That's Moby's unique story. He has played professionally in both Japan and Vietnam. Second year now with Monterey Bay. Johnson and Martinez told to cool it a little bit. Hence the reason for the delay. Short corner. Donor at the edge of the 18. Well done. Boone blasted it. Yannick Edel. He had to make the save. It'll be a corner again coming for the visitors. Tonight's match brought to us by Keystone Construction. Love the design here by Monterey. Creative. Led to a fantastic look for Boone. At the edge of the 6, headed down, but not on target. That was Johnson that got a touch. Edel could have allowed that to roll across the end line, but instead he plays it quickly. Rebion, the deft touch. Asante then lost it and was deemed to have committed a foul.
Tough. You got moments like this. Every one of these is going to take another 10 to 15 seconds off the clock. You're not at that place where you got to play fast now, but you certainly got to make sure that they can't play slow.
Throw in coming next to the corner flag for Monterey Bay. Tonight's match brought to us by Keystone Construction. At Keystone, it's more than construction. We build a vision. Swept clear, but right to Donor. Dambrot barreling forward. Now Dixon. Boone. Good looking ball here. In the other corner.
This is eerily similar to that little window in the first half where Indy's had to bring 10 guys back behind the ball and just not able to sustain any possession. And then once they win the ball, there's no target, there's no release point for them.
The edge of the 6. Monterey got ahead to it first, but never knocked it forward. Lindley now leads the charge the opposite direction. Herrera blasted 70 yards the other way. Asante goes down. Sign given to play on. Indy playing effectively a man down with Asante crumpled up behind the play.
Oh.
Edel bumped by his own man in Vasquez. And now Jerome will simply play it sideways so he can come back and take a look at Asante down behind the play. We'll be able to judge for ourselves whether we thought there was something to this here. You can see where the official's call was made on that. A little too high for Guenzada to track down. And that second goal has completely changed the complexion of this match. Indy has been chasing not just the scoreboard, but frankly the possession since that time. That'll be a foul against Johnson. Restart will be a quick one for the Indy 11. Brad, have you heard of Mom Water?
I have heard of Mom Water.
Refreshing fruit-infused vodka water with zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Founded in Indiana and now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly.
I think that is a brilliant name.
If Mom Water could be served hot, I'd be all about it right now.
You got Robbie on freshest legs that he's had this point in the game.
Dambrot finds Quinn. Quinn, well defended. Robledo was there to stop the progression. Headed down. Roberts got there first. Asante. Back post parried away by Herrera. Just enough. Dambrot sizing up his options and
well
the
defended.
corner out of it.
Well defended. Dambrot set it up well. Was going to drive it across the 6. You got bodies running in. So well defended.
How about the all-around games that Donor and Robinson have had for Monterey tonight? Quinn all the way across. Roberts got there first. Lindley. Lindley. A little too much on that one. No touch from Monterey Bay. What's left in the bag of tricks if you're Mark Lowry at this point?
You don't need to reach into the tricks just yet. I think you've got You got good talent out there right now. You just got to grab possession of the ball. You take a look at what happened here in this little sustained corner kick, a couple of serves in there. Just keep playing, just keep grinding.
By the way, the bag of tricks from a sub standpoint is Juan Tejada. That's it. Teams are getting a little short because of injury, and then Jonas Fjellberg had to leave the match.
Oh, what a ball. Cameron Lee.
Robledo.
And here, a good ball over the top from Lindley into the space for Guenzati. A couple of extra touches to try and make something happen, and there's 8 Monterey Bay players back.
Robledo, Asante. Oh. Trying to curl that one around both a defender on the turf as well as the goalkeeper, and just couldn't keep it on frame.
Great buildup. This is one of the things that Robledo does well. He's able to create individually and draw players to him, and that opens up spaces and pockets for his teammates.
Martinez able to find Guenzati. Foul given against the Indy 11 and a card going to be shown. Second yellow to be shown against an Indy 11 player in this match. That one's Aiden Quinn. Person went to Jack Blake earlier. Quinn, that is the first yellow he has picked up this season. Feeling the sands of the hourglass are starting to fall a little bit quicker. I say that was Martinez. I thought it was Quinn. My apologies, but Martinez that drew the yellow. Hard tumble taken by Rebillon. He bounces right back up. Vasquez will launch this one towards section 111. Of course, this match is brought to us by the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies tearing down the past so you can build the future. Boom. Knocked away by Jerome, but goes right off an Indy 11 teammate on Rebillon. And a corner coming for Monterey Bay. This would be a loss that would be tough to swallow for the Indy 11, not because of caliber of opponent. I'm not sure there's a weak team in the Western Conference this year. But just knowing that you had finally kind of broken through at home, finally got those 2 goals and seemingly had control of this one in your hands. Monterey came back and wrestled it right away. Good find by Rebillon. Now Dambrot. Guenzati to his left. One touch, just a bit too strong for Robbie. He's kind of going through the mental inventory in his head as to where he was going next, and too much pace in front of himself to track it down.
And Monterey Bay is certainly a team not to sleep on. They can come at you in a whole bunch of places.
They had 5 against Hartford, 4 against New Mexico United. Their 2 previous wins. Monterey Bay was not a playoff team last year. They're certainly in the mix this season. This one heading our general direction. Hits the roof above the suites. Edel.
Here's a moment. Grab the ball, possess it for a bit, force Monterey Bay to defend, see if he just can't find an overload in a certain channel and take advantage of it.
Sante had his pocket picked. He got back in the way. That is Novello Yoseki. A couple of guys that spent time playing in Nice on this Monterey Bay squad. His previous team before this one no longer exists, New Amsterdam FC. Restart, a quick one by Quinn. Quinzotti on the back of the net once tonight. And his teammates trying to find the equalizer. Tonight's match was presented by McGowan Insurance, a proud partner of the Indy 11. McGowan, INSGRP.com for all your insurance needs. And Brown and Asante on the same page, and deemed to be off of Asante. Palmer Martinez about to be the next substitution for Monterey Bay. And Juan Tejada is about to get the kid on for the Indy 11. This has become Juan's role this season. Is to go out there and play with your hair on fire for the last 10 minutes of the match. And Juan has quite the head of hair to ignite.
I just love the way he plays. Everything is all out. Everything's 100%. Never cheats a play.
Foul whistled as Quinn took one of the midsection. Back post. Asante could not get there, but deemed to have played through the defender. Solomon already has one goal with his head tonight. I'm not sure he's getting the second one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that serve in that moment. Maybe take a couple touches, let some bodies get into the box, get some creativity in the runs.
Solomon Asante scoring a goal with his head is the equivalent of Tanner Thompson getting one in the season opener of 2017 for the Indy 11. Yuseki in a goal scored, the game-winning goal so far for Monterey Bay. He will head out, gets an immediate hug from Frankie Yellop.
You can see in the way that they celebrated after his goal and celebrated for him that there's a lot of love for him in that locker room.
So Martinez in, and Tejada will come in next stoppage and play for the Indy 11. Getting to the point now where Indy, you'll start to think about the one more so than the three.
Right.
Just trying to garner a result out of this one. Martinez goes to ground. Official says not enough in it.
You know there's pressure coming. That ball has got to move quicker. It's got to move collectively.
Well, Aiden Quinn will be done for the night as Juan Tejada will come in. Indy will kind of add a more forward-thinking piece. Quinn will exit. And Indy is done with their complement of substitutions this evening. Only available in non-use some is Tim Trilk, who's yet to play the match this year, the backup goalkeeper. He has used their 3 substitute window, barring a concussion substitution that would be needed in the closing minutes. No one coming for Indy. A reminder, the next Indy 11 match will be Open Cup play on Wednesday night. A yellow for time wasting was just shown to Monterey Bay. And he will play at the Columbus Crew at 7:30 on Wednesday night. And they are back here for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Saturday at 7 on MyIndy TV, ESPN Plus. Matt Schumacher will be in for me on Saturday night. I'll be back with you later in the month of May.
Good ball.
Asante. Levion. Tejada. Ball never got to him. Green got in the way. 2 players go flying, and this foul goes against Jason Johnson. Johnson appears to be all right. Lindley will go from off the turf, the guy potentially taking this free kick opportunity. Of course, this match presented by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. You're Lindley, you going for goal here? You're setting this up for a teammate.
Not a chance am I going for goal here. I think you're in a spot that gives you a lot of options, but to be able to beat Herrera from this distance, he would have to make a crippling mistake as a goalkeeper.
Lindley and Robledo talking this one over. Ishak Jerome standing by. He's taken one from this distance on a couple of times last year. The veteran from Haiti. Robledo peels away. You would think this is going to be Lindley's opportunity. Three-man wall being shown by Monterey Bay. Lindley tries to slide it through. Herrera had the post covered as it bends around. Lindley has always been more of a goal creator than a goal scorer necessarily. Last year, he was the player pulling the strings for Haji Berry, Elvis Amo, and Shane Galena for an exciting switchbacks squad. And they will be here on May 20th. For their first ever visit to the mic.
It's just got to be quicker. It's got to be quicker. Three different times we've been caught from behind.
It's Martinez that got in the way of that one. Ambrad.
Oh, great touch.
Rifling in. Wenzati. Couldn't keep it at his feet. Well done by Jerome. Roberts. Martinez. Ambrad couldn't get to it. Tejada, and that'll be a foul. As Tejada got clobbered that time by Walmer Martinez.
Man, that kid takes such a pounding game in and game out.
And so Lindley will have another opportunity. Juan had spent his entire professional career with the Tampa Bay Rowdies until he was traded for Nicky Law last July and basically was inserted in the starting lineup from the moment he got to town. Again, with this group and the acquisitions this year, he has become the super sub for Mark Lowry's team.
Oh, that might be a little window. You could drop it over Dixon and see if Solo can't find the other side of it.
Lindley, back post. Hadn't got to it, but well over the frame. Maybe has one or two more chances left. They're in danger of losing a third consecutive match and second of those in this building. Let's thank our presenting sponsor. Been on the front of the Indy 11 jersey since day one. We're Central Indiana Honda dealers. Proud to be Honda's home turf too is Central Indiana. Search your local Honda dealer today. Four minutes of added time we'll have before this one comes to its conclusion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time.
If this one stays the way it is, how do you feel about it if you're Mark Lowry?
You never feel good. It's a loss. I mean, you know, it's a loss at home. You don't feel good about either one of those things. I mean, you can take some comfort in the fact that you found the back of the net twice.
Opportunity here for Monterey Bay. Martinez with a left foot.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Rocket that he hit. Martinez has played in all 7 games. It's the third shot he has taken all year. Tejada. Green got just enough to that one.
There you go. Push some numbers.
Hits that Argento direction.
Push some numbers forward.
And a second ball on the pitch. Vasquez quickly plays that to the side. 1 minute gone, 3 to go. We'll hear that whistle twice. Dambrot, can he get there? No. Too much on that one from Mishak Jerome. Understandably, given the chill of the evening, some fans are starting to make their way towards the exits. We thank those that made it. Not exactly a great weather night, but frankly, better than we thought it was going to be as of about 24 to 48 hours ago. Fans have gotten to see goals, but as of now, not seeing the result they had hoped for when making their way downtown tonight. See if Martinez goes for goal or walks us to the corner flag. It appears the answer is going to be the latter. And then Vasquez decided to go Cobra Kai and sweep the leg. A little more time will slip through here. You would think that Monterey Bay would keep this as pinned into that corner flag as they possibly can with time of the essence. Anytime that these teams come this far east, or in Indy's case goes that far west, and you can possibly pull 3 points, that is like found money. Interesting restart there by Monterey. Long distance ball, but a bit of a bobble, but eventually Herrera handles it. And just a
bit of a
bit
bobble.
Dramatic there.
Yeah, that bit of a bobble. And that's not the time in the game to play with that moment.
Will be a foul against Indy. A few more seconds now will escape through. The 11 still trying to crack the code of this season. And they started out with a late draw earned against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Then in miserable conditions in Detroit, a win, but that still stands as the only win of the season. Indy had a 2-1 lead at halftime. They won't take a solitary point home with them. A pair of goals by Monterey Bay. First by Christian Valesky, then by Novello Yoseki. Means that the struggles of the Indy 11 continue. They fall 3-2. Monterey Bay now has 2 wins and as many times played against the Indy 11 after a 5-0 decision last September. The goal-scoring drought is over. The problem in finding the end result continues for the Indy 11. Just 1 point in league matches in the month of April. Almost the reverse of a season ago, where March was a struggle, April was a great month. It's gone the opposite direction this time around for Mark Lowry and crew.
Yeah, and you can see the body language right now. It's the frustration, all the work. They know that they're playing well, and the points just aren't coming. And in a match like this, where you go down early and you have to fight your way back, and you fight your way back with 2 in the first half, you regain the lead to let it slip away in the second half. That just adds to that bitterness.
Time for our start of the game. It is brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Again, if you want to look at the glass as being half full, most goals scored in a league match this season for the Indy 11. Problem is that there were some leaks defensively, and that really has not been the case until tonight.
Yeah, and it goes back to Valesky's goal. This is the second goal. You know, I think we were tracking Donor for about 20-30 yards, and we just laid off that pressure a little bit. That caused Vasquez to have to step And once he stepped, then Valesky makes that run, knowing he's got Dan Broad on his right hip. The ball by Donor is played perfectly, and then Valesky finishes.
Stay tuned. We'll have post-game coverage coming up for you on the Indy 11 television network. For those of you watching on ESPN+, our broadcast window is about to come to a close. Solomon Asante, the goal that leveled the match in the first half, but the last two goals belong to Monterey Bay. They get their third win of the season. 3-2, the final tally in Indianapolis tonight. As always, thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Trade your current vehicle and get more. Save thousands with 0.9% financing or payments from $249 a month. Drive with 2 years of complimentary Honda maintenance. To trade, save, and drive, search your local Honda dealer.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me. Don't buy a pre-owned Honda unless Honda certified it. Drive with confidence knowing your engine, transmission, brakes, and more. Honda certified it. Plus, get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty covering your Honda certified pre-owned vehicle. Only at your local Honda dealer.
On this chilly Saturday night, it feels like late October. It's actually late April, but it's an all too familiar feeling for the Indy 11 as of late. They have lost their third consecutive league match. Again, one where they scored 2 in the first half for the first time all year. Did not score again. There were 2 more goals in the match that belonged to the visitors from Monterey Bay. Post-game coverage underway on Wish TV, on My Indy TV, as well as the Indy 11 television network. Again, alongside Brad Hunter, Greg Rakestraw with you. Brad, where do you begin to tell the tale of this one?
You know, it's gut-wrenching because you get this moment where you break your scoring drought. You get 2 goals in the first half. You come back from giving up an early goal, and you feel like you've kind of turned that tide. The momentum's going in your way. The team will get some confidence in the box, and that second half is going to roll in the right direction, and it just didn't happen. A couple miscues, and you come out without any points.
First few minutes of the first half belonged to Monterey Bay. Opening goal of the first half belonged to Monterey Bay. But then the chances started to create for the Indy 11 go in half number 1. Finally cashing in here, Solomon Asante getting his first goal of the season, just his second goal in Indy 11 uniform. And then Asante, what he has been largely doing for this club, goal creation. When Zadi kisses it off the post, that's the score at 2-1. And all momentum for the Indy 11 belonged to them going into halftime. In half number 2, it took a while for Monterey to wrestle it back, but once they did, Indy could never really find their footing after that point in time.
Yeah, and so much of this, you know, Alex Dixon, we talked about his goal scoring, 6 goals on 7 shots, but it was his playmaking today. Not the first goal, he draws the attention to the top of the box, then he finds Robinson out there, Robinson with a brilliant finish, and then in here, there's a mispossession in the middle of the field. His first touch is to put his player in, and then everything falls off of that, and he winds up creating 2 goals as this goal scorer that's just playing in a playmaking role today.
So again, there you see the finish by Voleski to make it 2-2. And again, credit Donor for then setting up goal number 3, again to Novello Yoseki. That ends up being the game winner for Monterey Bay.
Yeah, and it's such a, we talk about when you do gain possession again, that you can't allow the team an opportunity to get back into shape and defend. And when Dixon collects that ball in the middle of the field, boom, he puts you right under.
So we'll get to Solomon Asante coming up here. It's kind enough to come back out of the locker room early to come talk to us during the course of the post-game show. Your thoughts, what you saw from Solo tonight?
Oh, I loved it. Not just the goal scoring, but then you talked about the playmaking to Guenzati. When you start scoring goals, you want that ball at your feet. You're gaining that confidence. And here in that moment when he gets the ball at his feet after he scored a goal, he tucks it in behind the defender and finds Guenzati.
Well, it's kind of an average night for Solomon, a goal and an assist, and he joins us now. Solomon, thank you for the time. I know you're disappointed to not get the victory tonight, but just kind of overall your thoughts as to how you and your team performed this evening.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, we lost a bit of concentration and we were down by a goal. And then, we came together and then we started doing the right thing and then we got one up. And yeah, the second half was not that good, Again, first 10, 15 minutes, the same thing happened and then they got the equalizer and then 3-2 is difficult, Tactically, they were very good. Defensively, they were good. And 3-2 away, he's going to defend. There's nothing you can do about it.
Tell us about the goal that you scored. We joked about it. Not often is the guy that's 5'3" score with his head. Walk us through what you saw to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I knew he was going to put the ball there, so I went back and immediately, I think the guy who was on me was sleeping, he was late, and then I got in front of him, and then, yeah, I got a goal.
You've shown throughout your whole career that you can score goals or you can set players up. When you have a night like tonight where you do score and you get an assist, is there one that stirs more of a passion in you? You consider yourself more of a goal scorer or a playmaker?
I would say I'm a playmaker, but when I get the ball in front of the post, I try to look for the best option, I try to give. When there's no option, then I try to go myself.
You can see the passion that you guys have and the body language at the end of the game, the frustration. How do you work through this? You pour your heart and soul into a game. How do you work through the frustration in a match like this?
Yeah, I think we, last 3 games, we are trying to do the right thing. I think we are doing well. We are enjoying ourselves. I think it's unfortunate, because we are doing the right thing. We are going in the box. The balls are coming, the crosses, everything. We are moving correctly, but we need to be clinical, in front of the post. That's the only thing left.
Solomon, as always, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the goal and the assist.
Thank
we'll see you next Saturday night.
Thank you very much.
Solomon Asante, kind enough to join us. Sebastian Guenzati will join us coming up in a matter of moments, maybe even after a commercial break. But always appreciate two of the veterans, when we ask, quickly coming over to be a part. And it's not fun to talk after losses, even when you do things well offensively. Always appreciate the players' candor and comments.
Yeah, and it is one of the toughest things after a match because to get to this level, you've got this fiery competitive spirit inside of you. And when you come out on the wrong end of a game, it is so difficult to be cordial. And so to come out and do this, that just speaks to professionalism.
We'll take this quick timeout. Sebastian Guenzati will join us when we come back from this break. Again, a bit of a different pill to swallow for the Indy 11 tonight. They scored 2. They gave up 3. They've now lost 3 in a row. 3-2 the final score in Indy tonight. More post-game coverage comes your way next. You're on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 television network.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo. Cuando tú le escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
And back downtown at Carroll Stadium, Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you. Indy 11 fall to Monterey Bay tonight by a score of 3-2. Again, we're joined by the other goal scorer in tonight's contest in Sebastian Guenzati. His first league goal for the Indy 11, got one in the Open Cup a few weeks ago as well, and again, kind enough to join us in the chilly conditions. Seba, I know you're disappointed in terms of not getting the win tonight, but overall, your thoughts about how you and your teammates played and kind of the end result this evening.
Yeah, you know, like you said, not happy with the result. You know, we just got to keep working. I thought we did a great job the last 30 minutes of the first half. They came out real strong second half and, you know, got the few goals that took them to the lead.
Let's talk about the ball that you got from Solomon Asante. Kind of walk us through what you saw on that goal that scored to make it 2-1 at the end of the first half.
Once we opened it out wide, you know, me and Solo have been training a lot. His crosser, he's an unbelievable crosser, one of the best in the league. And I knew he was going to find me there. You know, he saw the hole. We made eye contact. He put the ball where I wanted it for my right foot and just placed it far post. So it was a nice goal.
So as that ball's coming to you, and you know you've scored plenty of goals in your career, as it's coming to you, have you made up your mind what you're going to do? Are you waiting to see if you can catch the goalkeeper between steps? Talk us through that moment on when you decide to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I decided to pull the trigger. I think the defender got a little deflection on that play, and you know it was a great angle for me to put it far post. You know, we trained that a lot, and it came out today. You know, we just gotta keep training for the next game, and we have revenge. Yeah,
so you look at this and you're the leader on this team, and you can see the body language. Guys are frustrated. What do you do as a leader through training? I mean, we see what you do physically in the game. You chase down every ball. The energy is relentless. What do you do in that locker room to keep this team moving in the right direction?
Just keep everybody motivated. You know, we're going through a tough time. We're a new group. We just got to get it together. You know, today the goals came. Unfortunately, they scored 3 goals on us. So we got to be better as a whole, I think, defensively, you know, starting from up top to our defense. And just keep working hard, you know. I think we're in the right direction. We just got to get, you know, the wins.
This is the first chance we had to talk to you after a match here at Carroll Stadium. And you know, you've been playing matches against the Indy 11 in this building dating back to day one and since 2014. What was it like to score and then get to go celebrate with the Brickyard Battalion on that end of the field?
Yeah, I actually never scored in this stadium, so it was my first. After the Open Cup, my first league goal in the Carroll, and I felt very good. You know, the fans behind the goal are cheering us on all game, and that's the motivation that we get from them.
All right, Open Cup, so you don't have to wait until next Saturday to kind of get the taste of this one out of your mouth. You're going to go play against the Columbus Crew. I know you've experienced some success against MLS teams over the years in the Open Cup at various locations. What's your outlook for Wednesday night?
Yeah, definitely. We have to be ready for our hardest game of the year. You know, we know what they have, and you know, I think we're at that level. We just gotta do better than the things we didn't do today, and you know, keep training hard and I know we're going to do something good.
Seba, go get someplace warm, go get off your feet, and thanks for the time after the match. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Sebastian Guenzati, as he gets off camera, he's got a brick to go pick up. He's handed by the guys in the brick every time for scoring that goal. We asked him about the Open Cup, and that's what we're going to talk about next. And we referenced this at halftime. For the first time in 7 years, the Indy 11 are playing a Major League Soccer side, and when they have played MLS teams in the past, frankly, they have fared well. They haven't won, but they went extra time with Columbus 9 years ago. They went to kicks with Chicago Fire 7 years ago. What you are seeing are highlights from the Open Cup match on April the 5th. Indy got behind 1-0, but would score 3, 1 in the second half, 2 in the extra 30 minutes, and it's the first Open Cup win in 4 seasons for the Indy 11.
Yeah, the exciting thing on Wednesday is there's 2 kind of big motivation points in this. One, you're playing a team from the MLS. That gives you a little bump. And then 2, you're around further into this tournament. And every time that adds a little bit of juice, adds a little bit of pressure, adds a little bit of fun to the match.
The other thing to add in here as well is that, Mark Lowry has pretty much played his ones the entire season. That includes this match against the Michigan Stars that you're seeing highlights of right now. Because of circumstances, again, no Dispay tonight, no Risi tonight. We saw Jonas Fjellberg go down with an injury. Basically, the squad that you saw play tonight is the one that's going to go to Columbus and play against a Major League Soccer side on Wednesday night. Again, you're putting your front foot forward against an MLS team. You kind of worry about Saturday night, what's going to look like against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, but you frankly can't afford to worry about that right now if you're Mark Lowry.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes you set your lineup for tactics. Sometimes you set it up for the tactics in the next game. And sometimes you set your lineup up just by who's available. And so, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of this through the recovery day tomorrow and who's a bit dinged up and what they can put together on Wednesday night. But it is going to be a tough week.
Again, here's some of the notable matches that will take place elsewhere. And just to kind of update you as to kind of the way the tournament structure and format is, there are 8 MLS teams that will enter in the next round. So 24 teams clear this round. 8 then are placed in the tournament in round number 4. That's it. It's a 32-team tournament from that point and time. There are 18 MLS teams that are entering in this round of the tournament, Columbus Crew being one of them. To give you a bit of the kind of the Crew scouting report, Wilfried Nancy is in his first year with Columbus. Did a great job with Club de Foot, as we jokingly call them, FC Montreal, the artist formerly known as Montreal Impact. A lot of folks thought this would be kind of a rebuilding year in Columbus. They've scored 17 times in 8 matches. They have pulled points from their last 4. They're basically 4-3-1 going into a match. It's probably wrapping up about now with Charlotte. So Crew has been solid. In talking with Chris Dorn, their radio voice for Soccer Saturday this week, he thinks we might see a bit more of a rotated squad by them on Wednesday night, but we'll find out in about 72 to 96 hours.
Yeah, and winning is so contagious. You take a look at once you start getting on, and Charleston's a great example of that. You got to completely change the philosophy, you got to completely change the emotion, the mindset, and once it starts falling into place, you just have that belief. You just have that little bit of extra energy.
A couple of things that I'll also point out here, too. I think what Sacramento Republic did last year has energized everybody else in the USL Championship. That's the type of run that you can. And again, they made the final, losing to Orlando City. Let's also remember there was not an Open Cup in 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. So these teams from the USL Championship, League One, NISA, etc., and PSL, there's still 2 amateur side teams playing, Tulsa Athletic and Chicago House, who gets to play Chicago Fire coming up this week too. You didn't have those shots for a couple of years. And so, that lack of opportunity, I think everybody takes the Open Cup a little more seriously maybe than they did, say, 2017, 2018, and 2019.
Yeah, it's a historic tournament. And then you take a look at stuff like Chicago House right now, former DePaul goalkeeper in goal for them. And you take a look at Sacramento last year. And all of that stuff are that's what makes March Madness so great, is you're going to have those upsets. You're going to have those underdogs that get far into the tournament.
U.S. Open Cup play resumes for the Indy 11 on Wednesday night, 7:30 at Lower.com Field in downtown Columbus. As we go to break, Yannick Ettel. Not maybe a night he'd like to remember in terms of the goals allowed, that being 3. Yannick Ettel, always one of the guys that draws our attention for the Indy 11. We'll take this quick timeout. Stay tuned. More post-game coverage comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV and the Indy 11 Television Network.
Best behavior today. Best behavior today, guys. Say hello, brother. Hi, Mom. Can you teach me the basket catch?
Pinkies together.
Say hello, brother.
Hello, it's my friend Aiden. Aiden, say hey.
Nice too. Yes, kid. Oh no. No, Cam, you killed me. Easy. I got it. I got it. Okay. Yeah. All right, good. Tim, yeah, my left. Keep. Sorry.
Trade your current vehicle and get more. Save thousands on all new CRVs with 3.9% financing or $329 a month. Drive with 2 years of complimentary Honda maintenance. To trade, save, and drive, search your local Honda dealer.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best. Stand by me.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
When it has a 182-point inspection by factory-trained technicians, Honda certified it. When it has a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, Honda certified it. Only when you buy a certified pre-owned Honda at your local Honda dealer, Honda certified it.
About to turn the lights off at Carroll Stadium on this Saturday night. Unfortunately, Indy 11 took a 2-1 lead to the second half. They did not exit the half with that same lead. Headed to Monterey Bay, and again, Western Conference appears to be pretty stacked this year as Indy has struggled to get results against teams from the West. Put it in perspective, they have played 4 of their 6 matches against the West. They have picked up 1 point from those 4 matches. So with that, maybe we should look at the geography of the teams the Indy 11 are playing coming up next. Again, the Open Cup match on Wednesday, back home to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Then at Loudoun, a team that Indy split results with last year, a pair of 1-0 victories. Home team got the better of that. Again, Loudoun had been affiliated with DC United. That is not the case anymore. They're an independent club, which is why they remain in this league and not an MLS Next Pro. At Sacramento Republic for a late-night game on the 13th. Then, as mentioned, Cam Lindley's old stomping grounds, the Switchbacks from Colorado Springs, come to Indianapolis for a 7 o'clock kickoff coming up on May 20th. So, as you can see, you got a couple of Saturday dates to watch your Indy 11. Tickets always available when you log on to Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Now, it was announced earlier this week, the first 33 players on the Indy 11 W League roster Last year, the Indy 11 women played 12 regular season matches, went 10-0-2, won their division, and made the playoffs in year number 1. This year, there will be 10 regular season matchups. We are playing in a different division. It is the Valley Division. And basically, the teams that you see on this list, those will be the opponents. St. Charles of the St. Louis area. Lexington, as in Lexington, Kentucky. They are the sister club of Lexington SC that's playing in USL League One. And then the two teams that we saw last year that are coming with us, Kings Hammer of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, and Racing Louisville. It's Louisville. We don't like them very much. So those are the teams that we will see repeatedly over the course of 10 matches. There are 5 matches that take place at home for the Indy 11. All of those in June. All of those indoors at Grand Park. You can see that on 11 Sports. I'm lucky enough with the ISC Sports Network to help produce those matches. I'll be on the call of 4 of them, including that June 2nd home opener at Grand Park. Here are the notable names on the W roster. Now, point out Aaliyah Martin, Rebuff High School, fantastic college player as well. She's on there. Carson Cherry's completed her first year at the University of Louisville. She was a key part of the team a season ago. Greta Kruzula is back for a second year as well. But if we flip this forward, how about 21 goals back from last year in Maddie Williams, who's now back as a player coach, as well as Katie Soderstrom, who's finished a fantastic career at Butler University.
And little sister Susie's joining the club, too.
And yes, 33 players on the team, and there might be more coming. And I want to point out Maya Lacagnato. She scored a lot of goals in this building, playing for Chris Johnson and IUPUI from Penn High School. Outstanding player and great pickup for Paul Dolinsky in year number 2. Brad, final thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm so excited to see them build on that success from last year. You know, last year everybody's wondering what can you put together, and now we know that the coaching, the structure is great, and now they get the great players back.
All right, we'll take this quick timeout. Post-game show again, wrapping up as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse.
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?